and introduce Mike Edwards, who is our staff DWI coordinator and the previous member of this board. And did a heck of a job always. He's also deputy chief of police. But anyway, first item is staff DWI plan. Mike?
About the plan, we went through the Ways and Means Committee. I'll just go over a couple of the big points that have changed. We've reduced the revenue, we've reduced the budget quite a bit to $180,000. That was done based on, it's going to more closely reflect actual revenue that has been coming in. I went back since I've been here into the revenues. So we spent down the reserve quite a bit. We're 80, I think it's 84,000, 83,000, something like that. Big decreases, rehabilitation, mental health portion of the budget, we took it right out. We've talked about it for several years. Other decreases, the enforcement's down about 4,000. Public information is down 4,000. And the DA is down 2,500. Major changes within the budget. So within the plan is part of the budget. The budget is the plan, they reflect each other. It just goes through, break down every section. The state is watching things very closely to make sure that any money spent with fine money is not money, it's not spent on something that would otherwise have to be provided for. So I can't pay for a police officer just as regular duties, but I can pay for a police officer to do DWI patrols. Hence why we did away with the rehabilitation. It's very questionable how we're spending the money on this time. So, and it's been brought to my attention from the state before. That's one of the main reasons we pulled it out of there. You have any questions on the plan?
Anybody have any questions?
Mike, if it has to go for enforcement, do we approach it based on the DWI arrests then? Per municipality?
There's a formula, Dennis, that we use, that I use, it was the one Barb used.
I mean, if, let's say Ilion does twice as many as Herkimer, do they get twice as much money?
No.
No, okay.
No, because the state police do twice as many of all the 8 municipalities combined, so, the police agencies combined, so. It doesn't go by that. What I did do about 4 years ago, I put in I think it's $50, I don't have the formula right here, but it's $50 or $100 per DWI arrest that go to an agency, so it'll bump them up a little bit. So if you get a,
Yeah, I mean, you're giving them basically a block grant and then so much per arrest.
based on the number of officers in the department and the size of the population, it's a base rate. And that's how the formulas that she always used, I've used it. The only thing that I've changed is I implemented now that it's a little bit of a bump. It's not much for an agency that does go out and get a whole bunch of DWI arrests. They're going to get a little bit more, not much. There's not a drastic difference.
I mean, because of the new guidelines that the state is watching and expecting you, I wonder if that was necessary to nudge it more toward.
The police chiefs are very active. Joe Malone's the head of the Stop DWI Advisory Board, and he's like the head of the police chiefs in our county. And his theory and philosophy, and it's probably correct, is you don't want to take. He likes that base setup because it makes them pretty well equal. The only difference is if you do get a bunch of DWIs, you get a little bit of a bump. They're already getting more because of their population and their number of officers. So he doesn't want to hurt the smaller departments anymore because they can use it more. I don't want to say more, but like a Dodgeville doesn't have the resources that another department may have. So I think the base formula works. It lends towards the smaller departments a little more, just by the basis, the way it's set up. The state has never questioned how we distribute the enforcement funds at all. I've never had anybody even question that.
They just don't want the county dipping in. That's what it's come down to.
Absolutely.
They wanna just make sure that we're not spending it on some other service that should have to be provided for otherwise.
I mean, even though the state police are the lion's share, I don't wanna give any county money back to the state police
Which
either.
we've stopped that, of course, they come out and said you couldn't do that. Illegally give the state police any money,
Whether
so we,
our 911 money that doesn't get here that should, or other state mandates that are on us. So I don't wanna give any money to the state police, even
No
though they're doing the
DWI
lion's
funds.
share of the enforcement.
no DWI funds go back to the state police.
Anything else? Do I have a motion? So moved. Bruce, second? Ray? All those in favor?
All right,
Opposed? Approved change to staff BWI advisory board from person to title.
Right, we, had on the membership of the advisory board is made up of a group of people, clergy, lay people, police, it's made up of different entities. One of them, bar and restaurant people, we had the name of the person for the chairman of the legislature as a member, and now we're changing it to the chairman of the legislature rather than have, I think we have Ray Smith still listed. And technically, the thought behind it was to have the chairman of the board a member. So we're changing the wording from a person's name to the chairman of the legislature. He'll be, when that changes, that person will automatically change. So right now, technically, Ray is still listed as a member of the advisory board, and the intent was to have the chairman of the board on. So that's the wording change.
Mr. Chairman, is that true for all the appointments? Is it by position? How big is the board?
I think it's just, Mr. Rhoda,
13 members.
13 members. I think the only ones that, did we do it, was it done before with DA? We did it someplace with DA, did something like that, didn't we?
The positions, they're not, you're talking about the DA or?
I'm just saying, is there anything other than the chairman of the legislature? It makes sense. I'm just curious if we have any others that are specific positions. I can
No.
appreciate when you get people from the community, it can be varied.
They're listed as names, and you're probably right, it probably should be changed to the district attorney or the
Where it can
director.
be.
Yeah, the director of probation's one, he's on there automatically. These are ones that, again, they were there when it came in, they were listed, that, have the probation director, have the district attorney on it. So maybe we should, I could bring that back to you, to make those titles and
Where
not
it can
positions.
be.
The Bar and Tavern Association, they recommend their own person, and I
It
go.
can be then written as a representative from the Bar and Tavern
Right.
Association.
And the lay people that I have are retired police officers. I think there's 2 retired police officers. And Jim's on the board.
But even, are you, like you said, retired police officers, does your makeup say we will have X number of retired police
No, it
officers?
doesn't have to be community member. They can be any community member.
I would just recommend where you can, you make it
Yeah,
title.
I will make I'll bring in another letter of recommendation for changes. I mean, this one can go, it's up with their approval, it can go through, but I think I will do that. Then take the
didn't that board
names
used to
out,
have
take the
a
titles.
former convicted DWI person on it at one time too?
No, that wasn't.
That's alternative.
That was not.
That's
that was
alternative, you're right,
Yeah.
you're right. I knew I remember something from somewhere.
Both a victim and an
Former-
offender.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and I think we've done this in a couple other areas, on a couple other boards over the years, where we've done it by title instead of by name, simply because,
I didn't think of the DA or the probation, but they should be the title and not the sheriff. It should be the title.
Motion.
motion? You want to incorporate those names into that motion?
We don't know.
The positions?
To be discussed.
I'll put a letter, I'll draft it, and I'll submit it.
So we'll just do this one, motion second, Bruce? Any other discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? So carried. Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks, Mike.
thank you, guys.
Sheriff?
I'll get it to you.
Oh, wonderful.
Mike, keep the seat warm.
What's next?
Oh, I got monthly report of the sheriff.
I'm just assuming you're interested in reporting out numbers. not the whole monthly report.
No, just what's, just an overview.
Average daily population in for August was 24.94. The average daily population boarded out was 39.55, with the total average daily population being 64.49. Highest daily population was 77, and the lowest was 56. We spent $112,355 boarding out inmates in August. And we spent approximately, it cost us about $5,377.64 with transportation costs related to boarding out.
Did I see someplace you use 4 facilities? You use 4
Yes.
facilities?
We are Oneida, Fulton, Madison, and Montgomery. We are now in Otsego County also.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
this report references Madison County June expenditure. Are they just late in billing us, or why does that get included into the September report, or the August report?
Would that be billing issue? Sure.
Could be because we ran out of money in August for boarding out, and we couldn't pay any of our bills until we had the transfer of funds a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
So this report shows when things are paid and not when they're incurred?
Yes, we take,
So there's not a
we do
direct
not complete,
relationship?
we do not complete our monthly report until all those bills are paid.
I get, what I just wanted to clarify, Mr. Chairman, is when I look at the boarding out costs, are these, if Madison County is a June figure, are these figures are not necessarily directly, or are they directly related to the census figures that are up above?
Yes.
They are. So June's boarding out, June of 12,
June was $560.
but that's not in the population up above, because that's for August. That's the point I'm trying to get to. I mean, it's minuscule
possible.
in terms of 560.
It's possible, it's $560.
But could it be more for the others? So I just want to understand if one is going back and looking at, it's a tremendous amount of money, and I'll grant that.
We may not have gotten the Madison County bill until then also.
I think what,
Sometimes we get a bill late and we have to include
I
it
think
next
what
month.
she's referring to, though, the daily population,
Right.
that 560 is not part of that daily population is the
Correct.
August daily
Well,
population.
not just 560, Mr. Chairman, if this is predicated on when the bills are received, I guess I'm trying to understand, is this the money directly, with the exception of the 560, I'll grant you that, the money directly related to the average boarding out population, the 3955, let's say? This is the money to support whatever was boarded out during the month of August.
Mr. Chairman, this is probably the only time that we've had a bill like this June bill in a later month. Our bills, when this monthly report is done, all the bills for that month are paid. So those numbers up above are related to the actual costs that we spend.
Excellent, thank you, thank you.
That June one was an exception.
Yeah, and you reflected that. Can I have a motion? Oh, Ray, you had a question?
Chris, just one, your transportation costs, are you putting in there for wear and tear on the vehicles, or is that just fuel and,
We use, for mileage, we use the 55.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we use the,
so you're putting something in for the
right,
cars and so?
that's what we use.
We use 55.5 cents, is that what you're saying?
Yes, we use the IRS rate that we use.
Bruce, moved. Do I have a second? Ray? Any other discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? So carried. Homeland Security Grant.
Yes, we are requesting a resolution accepting the FY 2012 grant amount of $16,750. And we're requesting the authorization for the chairman to sign that, e-sign that grant.
Got a motion, Bruce? Got a second?
Second.
Don? Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Authorized reimbursement agreement with National Grid for updated lights and equipment at correctional facility.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we discussed this a while ago. Some of the lights and the fixtures in the facility are getting hard to get. They're burning a lot of energy, they're inefficient, and we have a proposal with National Grid. The upfront cost would be $3,245.21, and we'll get back $2,221.79, so the total payout's around $1,000. And we do have money in our utilities to pay that upfront.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Well,
Let me get a second first and then we'll.
Yeah, give a second.
I'll second it.
John? Okay.
I just want to understand what this is going to do. I don't know that I could hear it.
This is going to change out the lighting ballast bulbs and fixtures in the facility, and to more cost-effective,
Well, for other
System.
things you can actually find on the shelf now,
yeah.
Within the building,
Correct.
not outside.
not outside the building.
Okay,
This is
thank
all
you.
interior lighting.
Anyone else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Agreement, approved agreement with Swanson Services for Cobra Cashier Lobby Kiosk.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, this is very similar to like the machine you have downstairs, down here on the first floor, like an ATM, but actually it's kind of like a reverse ATM. This allows people to come into our lobby. Right now, they have to come in and our personnel have to take the money, write receipts, and do everything. They're handling money, takes up their time. This will be a machine in the lobby where people can come in. They can come in and put the money in for that particular inmate they want to put the money in for. Also, that'll allow us to do it wirelessly, so people can actually put money in at home instead of traveling here if it's someone far away. And this is money for commissary, any other funds, money that they would use, they need to buy things with. There is a cost related to that. Swanson is a company that we just switched our commissary to because they're much better. We've been looking at this for years, and we've spent a lot of time with the county attorneys and Swanson's legal team changing the contracts so that everything is, if there's an issue, you know, we can debate it here in New York State, not in the state where Swanson is or where they want to be. I know Lorraine Lewandowski's worked on these contracts, both the commissary contract and this kiosk contract, a lot. And after about a year, we finally got things ironed out, straightened out to a contract that we can live with.
So is there a rule that we have to provide a commissary, or why do we do it, or is it?
We do it
keep the inmates quiet?
because sometimes inmates can buy things that we don't have to buy them, number one. They can buy potato chips, they can buy soup, they can buy candy bars, and we do get a little, we do get a little bit of that money. And we use that money to pay for cable TV, newspapers, and things like that. So it's a cost savings to the county. This kiosk, what it does is it'll help take the money out of our employees' hands, and it'll be in the machine.
I just am interested to know, is this a contract that has gone out with an RFP? What are the costs associated with it? I mean, if Swanson had a single source that does this kind of thing, more information about it. I guess I've never paid attention to how this was handled before.
No, we didn't RFP it, there's no cost to the county. The only thing that we would have to pay is some insurance on it, and I checked with Bernie, and the insurance was minimal, very minimal.
It's a revenue contract then? Is it considered a revenue contract? There's revenue you derive from it?
Yes.
You don't have to bid revenue contracts?
No. This is the only one that we have. Well, we also have the session, the vending machine. Don't amount to very much money.
How have we been doing it to this point? in terms of commissary, so then money goes into the special fund, and it goes through the machine somehow, does it integrate them with the commissary account?
Yes, what happens is, this money is, obviously it's automatically calculated. There'll be a number for each inmate. Somebody comes in, they punch in that number, they put the money in. The other thing too is, well, and I'll finish that first, and then I'll tell you something else about it. So that's calculated automatically to the company, commissary monies, you know, to the company, Swanson. And then the inmate orders things, we send the order sheets in, we fax it in. They know how much money the inmate has. If they don't have enough money to buy it, they can't get it. It's all tabulated, all taken care of there. We don't have to do that anymore. It's a time savings for our employees, plus it takes money out of the hands of our employees. When an inmate comes in, if they have, and they leave, and they have money left over, they're issued a debit card from that machine. We don't have to issue a check anymore.
That's good.
It's like bigger operation.
So those people that are.
Is there a, do you put a limit on how much an inmate can have on his account? Is there a cap, upper cap?
Well, we kind of, a little bit, but if somebody wants to put in and come in and put $100 in there, but we're not gonna let them buy $100 worth of candy bars, obviously, we're gonna control that.
Chris, is there any way we can get a fee for doing it, like $1 fee or whatnot? We do, okay.
What, I missed that question.
Pat, you have a question for?
Does this machine cost us any money?
No,
What's the insurance for?
we do have to, Bernie,
I don't have an exact figure, I've talked to them, they gotta give me.
What is it you're insuring?
the machine.
The machine would be like an inland marine thing, just if something happens, if the jail is flooded out, it's not our machine.
Do they have to provide something guaranteed that the money is appropriately accounted for, or is that on the contracts?
Yeah, they're taking care of the money, that would be.
It's all in the contract.
So the ratings were done?
Where has the money been held historically if you didn't have this? Where is it, sitting in a bank account that you can?
Yes, comes in, it's in a bank account.
Do we set the price on the
We could,
candy bars?
we could. There's a couple
So
different ways we
$5
can do that.
candy bar is not a question.
I was thinking the same thing.
Actually, there are minimum standards on commissary. You can't charge them any more than they could go to the Nice and Easy and buy it there.
This is America.
There's free enterprise, right? There's like a standard cost in market.
Mr. Chairman, what has been, do we know what our revenue derived from this commissary program was done in last year or the year before? What kind of revenue we took in that has supported cable TV
Do you
newspapers?
have a ballpark on it?
I don't remember going over that.
It's,
Is that in your budget, Brian?
I believe it is.
Absolutely.
yeah,
We did that, we
off
did
the
that
top of
for
my
you.
head, I couldn't tell you, but it's
It was thousands or hundreds?
maybe, we used to make quite a bit of money on that. Same with the phone bill, but because we board out so many inmates now, we don't make that money anymore. And we don't have that revenue coming in, so,
Can't do cigarettes anymore either.
right. So it could be 1,200 a year or something like that, maybe 1,300 a year. I'm just throwing that out, not 100% sure, but I know it's not a lot of money.
Will the inmates have access to that machine, or does the sheriff's people still have to put together the orders and input it? Is that electronic?
Inmates do not have access to that machine. It's in the lobby, the front lobby of the jail.
Until they're
We have
discharged?
a camera on it. Obviously, the people in the tower will keep an eye on that. It's an opportunity for people to come in, money in the machine. It's one less thing that we have to worry about.
And you can do it via phone too,
You can do it wirelessly.
or wirelessly, so.
The other nice thing, if we board out, like the Fulton County, they also have this. So if the inmate's in Fulton County, they know it's Herkimer County inmate, they know he's in Fulton County, he can buy things from Fulton County too.
It's tied on.
It's all tied in.
Tied in the system. Oh, good. Motion. Motion, second, Bruce? Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Why are we getting
So carried.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Thank you.
That's it.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah,
just,
I'll,
Okay.
give you a call.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I just wondered if we could have an update on the locks before the sheriff.
yeah.
leaves.
Bruce, can you give us an update on the locks?
Yes, it's the same as it was at the budget hearing, 11/11, they're supposed to be delivered. Slow vote.
Thank you.
Slow vote.
Okay.
Slow vote.
Last item we have is, accept the alternative incarceration pretrial program, community service program renewals, and authorize chairman to, e-sign the contracts. This is an annual, renewals. And, do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second? Bruce? Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, is
Yes.
this for the equipment that we use, or what is this?
This is a state aid that we get for the ATI program. It's down about $1,000. I'll answer your question.
Thank you.
A little over 14, a little over 15.
I remember at one point in time, Mr. Chairman, that completely covered a senior probation officer.
Yeah.
The reimbursement from the state completely covered the salary of a senior probation officer, salary and fringe benefits. And it's now deteriorated to maybe, what, 2 months of a senior probation officer?
Pretty good guess.
Wow.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Is there anything else? Okay. Motion to adjourn? Yes.
Mr. Chairman, as you know, I had requested,
Does it pertain to anything on the agenda, Gary?
well, usually can't you bring up something in a
No.
committee meeting?
You're not a member of the
Other
committee.
committees allow it, okay. I'll bring it up publicly then.
I
Thank
wish
you.
you would.
I
Can
will.
I have a motion? Second? Ray? All those in favor?
Right.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.